Well, welcome back to Mr. Obsolete's Vintage Homesteading. Today we're going to start out with mowing the front lawn slash weed patch. You can see there's lots of weeds down in here and some grass, but anyway, what we're going to be using is our Flymo flying lawnmower. You can see there's no wheels on it, and what it does is there's a fan under the engine and draws in air down here and makes it into a hovercraft, so it actually floats. So anyway, I've done other videos on this, and we'll give you a link to go back, and if you want to find all the information out on them and whatnot and history on them and stuff, you can go back and watch one of my older videos. And so anyway, we'll get it started up. Okay, well, we're going to show you the starting procedure here. So there's a vent on the fuel cap, so you open that up so it can get air in the fuel tank. So flip the lever over to the choke position. This is step one starting right here. Well, you can see it does a nice job still. I'm going to talk just briefly about some of the unusual features of it, so I'll come over here and I'll show you. Okay, well, here's some of the simple features on it. Like I say, there's a vent for the fuel tank. The recoil pulls up, decal step here when starting, and pull it through like we did. And here's the throttle and choke lever. And since there's an air cushion blowing down, if the grass or something's dry or there's dirt or something like that, kind of comes out around it, and they put the air filter clear up here on the handle so it's out of the way. So that was a good idea. And one other thing here, you can flip this handle and then you can lay the handle down for storage. And then the other thing, there's this bar here, right here. You can change positions on it. You can actually put it so it's down flush, and what's that for? Is storing it. So if you're in your garage, just close the fuel vent, flip the handle down, and hang it on the wall. It doesn't take up any room. So anyway, it's amazing. These were a sales failure in the US, but in not so Great Britain, they're the largest selling mower that's ever been made there. So anyway, we'll be back with some more stuff. Well, we're back for our next little project. If you watch my videos, I talk about how about a lot of things I'm thrifty, or layman's terms, cheap. And here's a good example. I don't know how many years ago, 20 plus years ago, I bought this thing for 30 bucks. And I've used it and used it and used it. And I was almost going to try and fix it again, but I finally decided not to, and I'll tell you why here in a bit. But anyway, It's the ideal size for a lot of work that I do. It's got a pneumatic tire, which I like for the rough ground around here. But I'll show you some of the problems here. You can see the whole front lip is rotted off here, and all the mounting holes are all rotted out. There's holes in there, and I put a mechanical patch in it a long time ago and had a big hole there. But anyway, you know, it's just, you hate to get rid of stuff, but hey, there's sometimes it's got to be done. But you know, it's just like your favorite pair of slippers where your toe sticks out of the side or stuff like that. You know, shirts got holes all over in it, but it's so comfy you just like using it as a work shirt. But anyway, well, so here's what we're going to do. I guess we won't need this anymore. So anyway, I went over to visit Mr. C the other day, and he's working on cleaning up his dad's property, and he had a bunch of old derelict wheelbarrows over there. And you can see this has got a nice 2x4 handle, and it's missing the other side here, but it's got a good tire and all that stuff, and the tub's still good. So anyway, rather than take it to the dump, he went over and threw it in my truck. So anyway, I'm going to dismantle this, and I'm going to put it on here. So yeah, amazing, the wood here is still good on this thing. But just a little history on this. You know, it had wooden handles when I got it, and since it was a cheap old model, the wood handles are what I call deluxe firewood. They lasted about 2 years. So I went and bought these metal arms. I thought they would be really great, but even back then they were made in China, and I had a load of cement in it. And one of the handles bent up. You can see one sticks up about 2.5 inches higher on the right hand side than it does on the left. So anyway, I'm going to put some linseed oil on the wood and get this tub off and put it back into operation. So I'll be right back. Okay, well, what we're going to do here, I'm going to put linseed oil to seal these up, make them last a little longer. I'm going to clean them bars off a little bit, put a little paint on them to preserve them for a little bit longer. But the other thing on this thing that failed not too long after I got it was the tire on the front here. It kept going flat, and so I went to a bunch of places trying to find a tube that would fit it, and I finally found one at a Goodyear dealer, but it was made in Argentina. And I put it in, and the rubber at the time was pretty porous, so it'd go flat too. It'd just take twice as long. So anyway, the thing that was really weird is that the steel rim here rotted out, but from the inside to the outside, and one day I come out and the tube was stuck out there and it popped. So I was at a junk sale and I found a whole tire assembly for $2 and rim, so I put that on there, but it didn't fit exactly, so I just took a bunch of old scrap pieces of metal and threw it in here and made some shims for it. Been using it for years that way, so use what you have. Be right back. Okay, well, we're gonna get ready to dismantle this. You see the wood here is pretty rotten, and this side especially, so you can see the bolt sticking out here. I just need to move this out of the way here to get that. It's rusted off the end here. I'll try taking that off, but that nut off here. I think it's too rotted up and froze up there in the top there to actually come off, but penetrating oil is something that lots of people say, oh, I tried this brand and this works great and that works great. And I've tried virtually all of them over the years for professional use. And this stuff is the best by far. It's made by Cyclo Industries. It's called Breakaway. And the key to using this is to put it on an area where you want to take a bolt apart or nut off or something like that, but let it sit overnight. It takes a while to penetrate in, but too many people just want, oh, I'll just squirt it on there and it'll come right off, but it takes a while to penetrate of any brand. But this is the best stuff I've ever found. Now let's see what happens here. Yeah, it's just turning, so anyway, what we'll do, I think we'll use our woodworking tool here to speed up the process. Be right back. Well, this may or may not work, but we'll give it a try. This wood's pretty rotten here. Anytime you're using an axe or hatchet or anything, this is a vintage Vaughn one here. That's safety first. Oh, look at that. Perfect. You gotta have the right tool for the right job. Well, we got 3 of the bolts ready to come out here, and this is almost off, so this last one was rusted on there pretty good, so let's see what happens with it. Okay, well, I tried using a vice grips on this bolt. I just can't bite it. It's really hard to steel, and the nut doesn't want to come off either, so anyway, being that I like to have a tool for just about every reason, I went and got my antique bolt cutters. These were made by the H.K. Porter Company, and they made steam locomotives and tools for working in railroad shops. It's got a patent date on it of 1908. But anyway, let's give it a little pinch over here. Oh, look at that. A nice clean cut. So we got one more here. Get it to stay up there. No effort at all. There we go. Almost as good as new. Not really. Okay, well, we finished up our really expensive rebuild here. Got $5 in it. So the tub here was free from Mr. C. And I bought some new bolts and stuff for the inside here. And you can see here that I put washers to spread the load around on them, because that's the weak point where they rot out. I'll be right back. Well, here's the old tub. You can see it's rotted out every spot and broken out where the bolts were. Plus it rotted out here. So anyway, The tub on this one is actually a whole lot thicker metal than that one. When I was down to the hardware store getting the bolts and stuff to put it back together, I looked at a new wheelbarrow just like this, and 120 bucks. So me spending $5 to put this one back in operation saved me $115 since I'm thrifty or cheap. So anyway, I'll just I like this wheelbarrow a lot better than my other one. This is one some relatives gave to me, and it's heavier duty and taller and stuff like that, but it's hard to work with, like if I'm doing cement work and stuff like that. Then the other thing that I really don't like on it is this front wheel. It's really thin, and it's a solid tire. It's not a pneumatic, so going over rough ground and stuff, it really shakes you. And this bar, since it's smaller in diameter than the other, this bar is down lower, and if you have some little stuff sticking up, you hit it all the time, tries to throw all the junk out of it. So every tool has its use. Okay. Like I say, one man's junk is somebody else's better junk. Here's a perfect example. This was going to the dump. Now it's at my dump, back working. So on this one, I'm getting ready to start loading up all this wood here to put out on my wood rack. I'm getting ready for winter, since it's the first year in a long time I got my wood done before winter. So we'll see you on the next exciting vintage video.